Live. Okay, let's see. Checking noise. Checking noise. Noise is good. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Resales. My name is Ryan. I get stuff from yard sales, garage sales, thrift stores, various other places. Try to make a few extra bucks online. This camera adjustment. Today is a good day, real good weekend, where I got 13 sales this weekend, which is good for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of those sales. One sale's a squash. 8 of those sales are from the old book stash that I bought. That I think this may put me halfway paid for, with what I got it for. And so after this weekend, so we're going to jump into the sales because it's pretty neat that they sold. So where are we at? Look at those books. Where's those books? Okay. So we're going to jump into that and plus some other fun sales that happened. And let's start with, I also have one really good not book sale. 2 decent book sales. First one, Transformers. These are a bunch of Spy Changers, like early 2000s small Transformer, batch of 6 of them, sold for $20. Don't sleep on Transformers. I actually don't sleep on the small ones from the early 2000s. Those are starting to kind of get a little value to them. So particularly if you lot them up. So 6 little Transformers, modern to those of us who are, I don't know the term for the ones that are 20 years old now. But for those of us who were raised on the vintage Transformers G1, not the G1 stuff, but the some later stuff. If a Transformer's out of production, there's a chance it may be worth a little bit. So it's worth putting out there. Number 2, not. Let's take this. There it is. I thought these would go for a little bit more. The Witchcraft Hysteria of 1692. These only went for $9. And usually stuff relating to that, even if it's just general histories, tends to do a little bit better. But than that. I had a $10 book that I couldn't find because I think I sold it to somebody else. And that's going to be an aggravating hit. Baseball compression shorts, $11. And the big one, this is actually the big sale of the day, because I got this Friday. Football helmet. Real football helmets with face mask, and it almost doesn't depend. Like age doesn't matter. Almost have a floor of $50. Particularly if there's good padding in this one. This one went for $80 shipped, and I did not pay a lot of money for it. So keep an eye out. This is about the 3rd real football helmet I've sold. And every time I've gotten one, they've sold pretty quickly. This one sold over a weekend. But I've sold some. I've had a couple, it's been like a couple of weeks at most that I've sold football helmets. So when these go pretty quick. So shipping's going to be a pain because hopefully I got a box that fits that. They are a little bit of an awkward size, but they do fit in a square box, which is nice. If you got the right square box. Hope. All right. Next up, moving right along onto the real sales. And all of these were good sales too, I think. So Book on duck shooting. Van Camp in 1943. Book on duck shooting. $12. And this one's a little rough. If you this book, if you find it in like good shape, it's worth a bit more. So that's the right side up. Book on duck shooting. So even in this condition, this one for $12. Almost all of these books sell. So good one there to grab when you're out and about. That one? No, that is not one. Okay. All right. Next up. That was 25. 1. Okay. This. Remus Gustavo Adolfo Bequer, 1917. This is a Spanish language book. This went for $15. This is one where I think there are a handful of others out there, and this book typically sells. It almost doesn't matter what version it is. I found one real similar to it, priced it similarly. I may have even gone under to make sure it sold. $15. All right. This one, maybe if you think about it, it's not as surprising as you think it would be. Rand McNally Reader's World Atlas, $20. Vintage atlases, I am finding there's a handful of them. I've got one or two other ones for sale. People like maps. People like outdated maps. So keep an eye out for these older Rand McNally World Atlases. There's like bunches of different editions, bunches of different years. A lot of them do sell. And this one went for 20. And it looks like they range all over as well. So it just depends on what year it is or what's something going on. I don't know. People like them. This is in really good shape too. For a 40, that was a 1958 book. This one, this people, little story behind, general story behind it. Ray Gallus's Story of Georgia Politics. 1945. This is obviously a library rebind. A lot of people, when I bought this big lot, there were a handful of comments saying, "Oh, those are a bunch of library books. We don't want them. They're not worth as much as you think. They're not worth a lot." Don't sleep on library books, particularly if you've got something with limited print runs. This one's about a Georgia politician governor. Yeah, this is a Eugene Talmadge book. And this is a library rebind with library markings, and it went for $20. 1945. So don't discount certain books simply because they go certain ways. So keep that in your brain. All right, what is this one? This one got a lot of watchers, and then somebody finally pulled the trigger. Roman and Medieval Art from, this is 1899 book. This went for $17. So I think a lot of people, you can find late 1800s, early 1900s books, and they be in this looks really decent shape too. And they'd be worth $15 to $20, and that's fine. You don't have to go for home runs every time when you get these old books. You just go for the ones that sell. And this one went for 17. This had a ton of watchers. Actually a lot more than a whole bunch than most of the books I was getting. And somebody finally pulled the trigger. The price was attractive. So, and this is about the range this book sells. This is a seller whenever you find it. I think various editions of this, but this is an old book, and there were several out there, and they all sold. So in that $15, $20, $25. All right. Next up. All right. Let's keep it going. This is one of my good ones. I thought this might be. So we're gonna, where do you go? Right there. hydroelectric power stations. 1923, $41. There were a handful of vintage engineering books in this lot. This is probably the most valuable of them. Always look vintage engineering books up because it's one of those all or nothing type situations. Because you could like this one's worth a good bit. There was a handful of ones that weren't. So and most of them didn't seem to be, even though they were kind of technical. But this one was a really good find. $41. I think that book. This was one of the ones that there may have been a chunk of reprints that weren't selling, and that one did. I'm running a little bit of an experiment to see if I can undercut a bunch of the companies that are reprinting stuff. And see where it goes. We're actually going to look that one. I'm going to look that one up real quick. Copy. That was either like nobody else had it, and I had to guess at the price, or there you go. Yeah. Okay. That was all the ones for sale were reprints. And this one sold in between the paperback reprint and the leather-bound reprint. So I don't know if that's something to go with or not, but yeah. Now I had it for $49.99, and somebody offered me $41, and I had auto accept at like $39 or something. So that was brilliant. I outsmarted the system. More stuff. Okay. More books. That will be last. And I've got another one in this series. This is Puckapook's Hill by Rudyard Kipling. 1925, $25. And I have another one kind of like almost exactly like this, a different title that I'm going to just like sell similar and see if I can get it. But really good shape for 1925 book too. Look, library markings. I think library stuff matters less the older the book is, simply because of rarity. And honestly, sometimes the library stuff may be in better shape because it was read a little bit less, sat in a very good environment for a long time. These aren't books that got boxed up necessarily. So something to think about on those. All right, we got one book left. One good book left. We discovered America. Apparently not Columbus. Apparently some dude named Madoc. I'm not sure if this went for $50. Yeah. I'm not sure if this is some like conspiracy theory type book or something, or it's one of those things based on like somebody took a legend and then ran with it way too far. But the signed copy of this went for way more, and there was another couple of newer versions of this book that went for less. I priced it in between $50. So this was a neat find in the midst of everything. So always, don't, when you get a big batch of books, I am looking up everything. Would I have looked that one up? Maybe, because it was kind of conspiracy and it rang a bell. But there was a couple of these books. It's like I don't know that I would have instinctively necessarily looked them up. But my process. There were some I looked up last night that they were like, wait, what? So we're going through them and we're looking them up and we're getting them out. So that's that plan. Anyway, more old books, getting them listed, getting them out. So like, comment, subscribe. If you got questions, comments, snide remarks, I don't know, it's content. You can do that. Y'all be good. Get some stuff sold.